Esnagami River brook trout, and more. Coming up next on the Journal. Hi friends, and welcome. On today's adventure, we're headed up to the Esnagami River to do some brook trout fishing. Now by we, I mean my old friend Aubrey Gale. He's a Wilderness Journal OG, and together we're going to go up and fish with another old friend, Mr. Eric Lund. And you know, as I say this, it dawns on me a lot of my friends are getting old. Still, we're going to go up to the river to hopefully catch some of the outsized brook trout that this river gives up. Now I know we're going to see some walleye. I'm absolutely sure we're going to have a good time trying to catch either or both. We're going to do some fly fishing, some spin casting, anything and everything. The only bad part about this trip is we only have the one day, so we're going to get after it. Hey, I'm your host, Kyle Randall. This is my Wilderness Journal, and we're going fishing for trout and more up the Esnagami right now. Yes, just in case you couldn't hear me over the sounds of that outboard, I was admiring Eric's new hat. And not long after that, Eric stopped the boat just above the first hole so we could kind of get our gear together, get ready. I took a couple of casts just to remind myself how it was done. I was going to fish a streamer, but Eric was going to throw some surface flies, some small dries.
Bugger when you get old, isn't it? I think they're making the flies smaller these days or something.
I was fairly certain that Aubrey was going to continue to use spinning tackle, and I figured either way, we pretty much had these fish surrounded. And once everybody had their particular gear rigged, Eric took us down through the next chute. We'd loop around and fish the bottom of that hole.
Right here.
And then, well, hopefully then we'd find us a trout. And not 2 minutes later. Nah, it looks like one of them golden trout.
Oh.
That was a walleye. That was one of those fish you can't catch on a fly rod.
Bead hit it. Woolly bugger. Black bead head woolly bugger.
And not long after the first one. It's another one of them golden trout.
Another golden now. That's all right.
Seems to be bending the rod.
You know, they're a lot of fun to catch on a fly rod.
They are too.
Hey, did you have a fly rod? Hold on. Photographic evidence right there. Kyle Randall, fly rod.
What fly rod? Look at that. You can't catch walleye on a fly rod. What are you doing? Did you read any of the Orbis books? May not be a trout, but I'm here to tell you that's a lot of fun. And just as I released mine, I heard,
Fish.
that's a walleye. You're not walleye fishing.
How to catch walleye here?
All wrapped up. In just the first few minutes, we were already into our third walleye on the fly rods. We sort of had our third one. We refer to those in the States as goggle trout. Goggle trout or lunch trout, either one will do. Friends, so far at least, the walleye fishing on this trout trip was really good. The truth is, the Esnagami is one of the only rivers I know of that has big brook trout and walleye mixed together most of the time. And speaking of time, it was time to move. Eric started us drifting down toward the next rapids, but before we could even get there.
Another one.
You hang on to that one?
I'm going to try.
I think I see it.
They fight good.
A little bit of current, a little bit of fish. Almost like fun, isn't
A
it?
little bit of gulp.
Yeah.
You don't miss them teeth right there. Hold up there.
Esnagami River golden trout. He's swimming upstream still. You might better put him back unless you can eat him.
I'm going to put him back.
All right. There's walleye in this river?
There are walleye.
We have caught walleye everywhere, no matter where we go. It's crazy. There's this everywhere. That's the only way I can say it.
I don't think it's crazy.
They're everywhere.
They were everywhere, and we weren't the only fishermen who knew it. And a little further downstream, Eric stopped us at another hole. Maybe this time we could figure out some of the trout as well. Oh, right at that rock. And a little hook set happy and just jerked it away from it. Right behind that big rock, right there. I was hooked up again, and as I drew the fish in, yeah, it was another walleye. Not a bad thing, but still no trout. The walleye really were everywhere, and we were catching them on everything, but still, we were looking for brook trout, and we hadn't seen any. At least not until Eric hooked the fish a little farther back in the hole, and kind of looks like a brook trout to me, but what do I know?
Brook trout. There's a net right in front of you there, Aubrey. Somebody big time in that gill. There you go. Yeah. Thank you. This little starter brookie. And they are always fun to try to hang on to. Yeah. Funny about a 14, 15 inch. Really beautiful. Look at that. He's ready to go. We're going to just let him come right out of the net. There he goes.
Well done.
Well, thank you.
Nice fish, bud.
There are still trout in the river.
Eric had worked a streamer farther down in the hole, so I went to one and yeah, another walleye. Must have the walleye pattern on today.
You have black at all?
Yeah. And then, while I was still trying to land that fish, I saw Eric sweep his rod up. We had a double.
Walleye and trout all mixed in together.
And before he could even get his fish released,
All right, Kyle.
it's like walleye to me, though.
Don't have to worry about a short lunch down here, do we?
No, sir. No worries at all.
That's all right, right?
After that, Eric decided we'd try a little farther down the hole, look for a few more trout. It doesn't usually work that way, but the one he had caught came from farther down, so... And when I set the hook this time, there's another one. I could be wrong, but there might be a bunch of walleye down there.
Yeah.
The walleye bite in the upper river seemed to be a lot better than the brook trout, but I knew the brookies were here too. We just needed to figure out what they were biting on and exactly where they were. And seeing as how it was supposed to rain later this day, I was truly hoping we'd figure it out pretty quick. We worked down through the next rapids and then set up below them. This time I decided I was going to actually wade out and try my luck. But it was Eric who got into the fish first. He was drifting that same streamer down the hole and...
Fish! Fish! Walleye! Nice walleye.
Beautiful.
Probably the fish are going to be right where it gets dark right in front of you, Kyle. Right? Yeah.
We definitely had the walleye figured out. Now we needed a...
There's a hit. Got one? That's a brookie right there.
Buddy, nice one.
That is a really nice brookie there. I think looking around at the scenery, that thing just grabbed it. That close by. That is a chunky fish. Beautiful.
Ain't no quit in him.
No, he's not quitting. Oh, that's big. Wow. That is gorgeous there. Whoa.
Nicely done.
Thank you. That is about 3.5 pounds of brook trout right there. I'm not going to mess with him too long. Here. Actually, I was just looking around at the scenery. Isn't that when it usually happens, huh?
Oh, yeah. That was definitely the kind of fish we were looking for, so we did spend a little more time casting that run before finally deciding to move along. That was a pretty nice brook trout, and fortunately not long after Eric released it.
Oh yeah. Nice, Kyle. Nice fish. Oh!
We'll go down that run and we'll find out if there's any fish.
Darn it.
That was a big trout there. Stop me if you've heard this one. There was this great big fish that got away. Fortunately. What are you doing?
There's just walleye everywhere.
Isn't that amazing?
No matter what I put
there's
on.
fish. While you were talking, the boss was catching. It was time to move. And I think this next one had Aubrey a little nervous.
Take that backward? I've never seen him go backwards like that.
Well, stick around.
Through there.
No one got wet. And yes, just after we got set up on the next run. There's a trout.
All right.
Yes, Mr. Brook Trout. Trout, pretty little trout. Look at that.
Oh my God.
That'll work.
Hang on to her, I'm coming.
No, there's no rush. He's no monster, but he is a pretty thing. Uh-oh, there he goes. So bye-bye. Well, they call it catch and release, right? And fortunately, it wasn't the only trout in that hole.
Take there from a brookie.
Those are good fish, too, boss.
They're all good fish.
They're all good, I forgot. My bad.
They're all good fish. There.
Bug on the surface bug.
Oh, yeah. Surface. Caddis. Nice fish. There he goes. All right,
Well
thank
done.
you.
I appreciate the lessons here.
Well, just getting it out there.
And just after Eric released his trout.
I got one, dude.
You got one? Show me. Hey.
Way out there.
No, that ain't your fish. There was a fish just surfaced right there, Eric.
That's mine, but a couple casts away.
Oh.
That's just future potential.
Future fish. Show me.
Gorgeous fish.
Yeah, it is. Fuck. Uh-oh. There he is. I'll get his picture.
Feel the pain.
I feel your
That's
pain.
2 in a row.
Yeah, I know.
We're all about the catch and release.
Thank you very much.
But you know what? And appreciate that. Let's get a picture of it. We'll let him remember that one that came up, huh? Right over there.
Where you know where your very first surface take was?
Yeah.
Right at the edge of that riffle over there?
Okay.
Right there.
Not the rifle, the riffle.
No, the riffle right there. The riffles, yeah, did have some trout in them. In fact, the faster water farther down the river seemed to be better and better for trout. We did, however, stop at one spot before we got down to the outpost camp. We wanted to let Aubrey throw a line into the legendary hole at the base of the 6th set. Hey, Aubrey Gale, this is quite possibly the most challenging walleye fishing I'm aware of. You're gonna have to make precise casts, careful, controlled retrieves, and the bite is a very, very subtle one, so you're gonna wanna be prepared, all right? Okay, throw it up there,
Stream.
right there, where that slip of water is.
Well, maybe it won't matter.
Huh,
I missed my spot, but I
you are quite a technician. Was that your first cast?
That was my first cast.
Huh,
Something I've learned about this place, there's a lot of walleyes.
You think? There are walleye everywhere, especially in that hole, but we needed to get moving. We wanted to stop by the outpost camp, and there was weather coming. After stopping for a quick look at the great remodeling job Eric and the guys did on the river camp, we got right back to it. It was gonna rain, and it was gonna rain pretty quick, so I was hoping we could get into a few more fish before it really opened up. By the time we got to the next run, it had already started to rain, and that seemed to be encouraging a pretty healthy mosquito hatch. Fortunately, it wasn't just the mosquitoes that were biting.
Trout. Got one? Yeah, it looks like it feels smaller, but it's a trout. Yeah, you got a trout on. Oh yeah. There he is. You get him on the mosquito fly? Yeah, I think so. I'll drop him right to you. All right. Oh, that's just a nice little starter kit for the river here. Future 20-incher. That's it. That'll be a trophy someday. Even a blind hog will find an acorn now and again. There you go.
And it wasn't just me.
Got something on there, buddy.
Yeah, that's a nice one, Aubrey. Want to lose it. Yeah. All right. Hey, you know what? I got one on here too. Just hit the fly.
The trout were definitely feeding now.
Do this the professional way. We're running into some warm water up here. The fish are migrating double header. Right direction. Yeah.
And it wasn't just trout on the bite in that hole either.
There's walleyes everywhere.
Yeah. You know what's really sad is we're almost downgrading the value of that fish because we're trying to catch trout. But I'm here to tell you, there's an awful lot of folks gone an awful long ways to catch some of them. The trout and the walleye were obviously still mixed together, but as it started to rain, the trout bites started to come on. I was hoping it wouldn't rain too hard and maybe we could catch a few more. And at the next hole,
Hey, let him go in that kind of water if he wants to go a little bit.
That ain't no walleye.
No, it's no walleye. That's a big trout.
Trying to swim upstream.
That means it's a big trout. Lift him. There we go. All right. It's a sport we do in Canada. Net chasing brookies. Nice fish.
Thank you.
You don't want to hang on to them too long. There it
You
is.
said right now, hole right there.
In
Put
this
it in
fast
there.
water,
Bam.
this is a team effort for sure.
good job, man. There's a big time brookie, eh?
Thank you very much.